Hi friends, Adelita Grijalva, your Congresswoman from Arizona CD7. This is our weekly recap for February 9th. The flight from Tucson was canceled, so I drove to Phoenix early morning on Monday to make it to DC just in time for evening votes at 6:30. This week was filled with visitors from tribal nations, unions, education, and health advocates. On Tuesday, we welcomed our new interns, Kimberly and Denise. We had 100 applicants apply. I'm so very honored that so many people wanted to serve Arizona here. And we have our summer internship applications are opening soon, so please stay tuned. Met with the Navajo Nation Vice President Rochelle Montoya and representatives. Met with White Mountain Apache tribe leaders. Both meetings focused on concerns about efforts to dismantle the Department of Education, but also sweeping cuts to tribal nations. Had the honor of meeting Miss White Mountain Apache Tribe, Priya Simpson, the first veteran to serve in this role, and she presented me with a beautiful basket. Had the committee hearings at the same time, so in between meetings, you run back and forth. So Natural Resources Subcommittee on Oversight and Investigations, Education and Workforce Subcommittee on Early Childhood, Elementary and Secondary Education, Defending Faith and Families. I questioned witnesses on the recent Supreme Court decision, Mahood v. Taylor, to further understand the implication of this decision in our schools. I met with actress Edie Falco and PETA representatives regarding the monkey farming and risks to that, risks to our nation, and also the fact that we shouldn't be doing it. I met with the Wilderness Society Action Fund, meeting with PCC board members to discuss program funding and adult education, and I had a meeting with United Auto Workers representatives. In that meeting with PCC, I'm so glad that they brought 3 students that are impacted by cuts to adult education in TRIO, so thank you for that. On Wednesday, I stood with Epstein survivors at a press conference alongside Democratic Women's Caucus and House Judiciary Democrats, attended our weekly Democratic whip meeting. Honored to welcome monks that walked 2,300 miles from Fort Worth, Texas to DC, walking for peace to the Capitol. I also had the opportunity to invite Chairman Verlin Jose, Vice Chairwoman Carla Johnson, other council members here to the office to talk about the needs of the Tohono O'odham Nation. And I met with the American Federation of Government Employees, Local 2391, also met with the Arizona Alliance for Community Health Center members, strengthening healthcare in Southern Arizona, representing community organization, like community networks like El Rio and Marana Health. Met with the Southwest Indigenous Women's Coalition representatives about challenges facing tribal domestic sexual assault survivors in Arizona, but also missing women and children, and how can we support that effort specifically on tribal land. Education and Workforce shadow hearing discussing the dismantling of the Department of Education and what that means for students. Natural Resources had a full committee markup. And so after that, I voted against the Undersea Cable Protection Act of 2025. This bill strips NOAA of the authority to review and regulate undersea cable projects in national marine sanctuaries, weakening environmental protections and allowing corporations to avoid fair use for public waters. And I also voted against the Save America Act. I want to note that these bills, the names of these bills do not correlate with anything that it actually does. This bill specifically would impose burdensome proof of citizenship requirements that could disenfranchise millions of eligible voters despite no evidence of widespread voter fraud, and would require states to share sensitive voter information with the Department of Homeland Security. And so I think that that's crazy and something that we cannot support. I met with the Salt River Project representatives, spoke on the House floor, honoring Rose Talton for her service to our community. Thank you so much, Rose. I was honored to be able to talk across the nation about what you do for Southern Arizona. So this morning on Thursday, voted on Law Enforcement Innovate to De-Escalate Act. I voted against that because, again, this bill doesn't correlate to what the name is. This actually creates a dangerous loophole by exempting less than lethal weapons like tasers from key gun control act regulations, allowing felons and domestic abusers to obtain them without background checks. Or safety safeguards. And while law enforcement already have access to these tools under current law, this is really creating a problem where one doesn't exist. And then today I'm headed back to district for a very busy week, and I'll keep you updated on that. Thanks so much for keeping up with AZCD7.